Hi, I'm Peter from Coffee Parts, and today we have a one-group lever machine from Marzocco, the LEVA X. Levers have been a favorite of espresso lovers for many years, and a lot of machines have tried to replicate the levers in a modern sense, using pressure profiling with a geared pump to basically ramp up, give the body and ramp down, or draw out whatever coffee you decided to do. The levers of the past look like this, and Marzocco decided to re-engineer and reinvent the lever, looking at both what the lever did well and the little flaws the lever had to try and bring the lever to a modern day lever. Some of the things they looked at was temperature stability on lever machines was a little bit questionable. What Marzocco did is they ran the saturated group head, which has been a common thing for Marzocco since the 1970s with the GS range of machines. Not only did they run a saturated group head, they ran a 1.3 litre boiler that's insulated, so you're getting a lot of thermostability and it's PID control. So they've really narrowed down that temperature profile and used portafilters that are made from stainless to really neutralize that whole temperature. They also looked at what was dangerous in the lever. With these levers, you used to pull them down, and if you let go of them, they were called the jawbreaker. They would flip back up and basically hit you. So they were dangerous not only in that sense, but a lot of them had covers to save you from putting your fingers inside the springs or whatever it might be. And that detracted from the look that a lever had. Marzocco solved this or re-looked at this by exposing all the elements of the lever, as you can see here through the glass casing. They looked at the engagement of the lever and a clutch mechanism. So although the lever moved free flowing, you could then bring down the lever to whichever notch you wanted and bring that down to let that water in. You could also, at the moment we don't have coffee in the portafilter, so if I let go, that will bang back up. But if you did have coffee there, you could then let go of the clutch, bring it back up so it's free floating, and the lever will do its thing. So they really kind of thought, not only from a safety perspective, from a visual perspective, but also from a temperature stability perspective. They've added to that a screen here, so it's visually showing you what that shot's doing, what the pressure is doing, and if you do like that shot, you can save it and then almost replicate it in the next shot. Not replicate it because it's not automatically, but you do see the points where you pre-infused, where you've let the lever go up, and where numbers have been hit. Looking at that, this machine here is a one group. So it's a 10 amp power point, so you can plug it into any wall socket, and it runs a water reservoir of 2 liters. Because it has that water reservoir and it doesn't have mains pressure to feed in for pre-infusion, they've put a rotary pump in there to give it that 2.5 to 3 bar. It's adjustable pre-infusion. If you were to plumb in this machine, being a home machine or an office machine, then you don't have to use the pump. The machine becomes dead silent, which is really cool. On the commercial versions, the 2 and the 3 group, generally you're plumbing them in, so you're running that line pressure. Obviously you want line pressure over the 2 to 3 bars and to use a pressure limiting valve to stabilize that line pressure to give you constant pre-infusion, and then you're using the lever for the rest. Outside the lever, they've also done some pretty cool stuff. We got the Cool Touch steam wand with a lever valve, and because it's all digitally controlled, you can actually have the lever starting at the top position or at the bottom position. So with the steam valve, at the moment we have it set up, and when we do bring it down, depending on how much we bring it down, depending on how much steam, it's electronically guided. If we brought it down all the way, you could really see how much steam it's pumping. From a hot water perspective, on this side, it's an electronic switch, so you press it on or off. And you do have a dial here, much like you had the dial in the GS3, which they hide it under the panel, and that lets you blend in some cold water to bring down that temperature. So effectively you can get that right temperature for your long blacks, or because generally hot water straight out of the boiler is quite hot. It is cool that you can do that. It's not really a new thing, quite a lot of machines can do that, but it is cool that they did think about it. From a design perspective or a technical perspective, they've also thought about the technician. The cups here on top, or the cup tray, lifts up, and then you've got 2 bolts inside. Once you remove those 2 bolts, the back of the machine all opens up, kind of like a car bonnet. So you've got access to the whole machine. You've got the motor and pump down there, and you've got the boilers, and you've got your safety valve, like everything's accessible. You do have these side panels too, which can be removed if you needed to change a solenoid or etc. Talking about parts, La Marzocco have gone to their parts bin and really sourced the parts from their range. So a lot of this machine inside will be similar or in common with the GS3 and other parts of their commercial range as well. What that means is even down the track, parts are always going to be available. It's not a scary machine to own. The only completely unique section is obviously the group head, but La Marzocco being La Marzocco, parts will always be available. The drip tray is adjustable, but at only a small amount of adjustment, so you can move that cup clearance depending on what you're drinking. Normally, this being a LEVA machine, it's probably going to be more focused towards espresso and non-milk based coffees, but like I said, it is ready for milk. From an eco perspective, it does have an eco mode, so when it's not being used for a while, it does go into standby, and both boilers being insulated does reduce the amount of energy consumption. Now, I presume if you've watched this far, what you really want to see is an espresso. So let's make a coffee. We've loaded the portafilter with 20 grams of coffee. Just gonna get these cups. And depending on how far we bring the lever and engage the clutch, depends what the volume will look like. So 20, 30, 40, 50 or 60 mils. Doesn't 100% work that way, but it's a good indication. Just gonna bring into there and pull down the lever. Once we get to the bottom, I'm gonna watch for the shot to start. And I'm just gonna let go of the clutch. We can watch the progress of the shot here on the screen. It's saying the pressure at the group head and the time, and you can watch the lever basically roll back up. However, it won't actually cut the shot till the lever's fully gone back up. So if you wanted to cut it any earlier, you just gotta bring the cup out to the side. The beauty about the lever is you can really design the coffee or make the coffee to your taste, whether you pre-infuse for longer, you bring in more volume, you've got actually a lot of control. And that coffee is really sweet. It's very lever in that it ramps up and down naturally. You don't get that bitter taste. It's really nice. It's got a really nice crema on it. It's actually a super cool machine. Like, there's something about the LEVA X that is totally different to all the other machines out there, and I really like how they've reinvented the lever. Would make a cool machine as a hero in a roastery or a hero in a workshop, art gallery, whatever it might be. Now, I'm curious to know, which lever machine do you have at home? Let me know in the comments below. And like always, if this video has brought you value, hit that thumbs up and please subscribe. See you on the next video. Thank you again.